Hi everyone, it's Bethany, and in this tutorial we are going to be making a really sweet coffee mug, and I'm really excited because I love making coffee mugs and I really love enjoying coffee. I actually didn't really enjoy coffee until I had kids, and then it kind of became an acquired taste, and it's really not about the caffeine or anything, it just I ended up really acquiring a taste for it. So my sisters actually introduced me to coffee creamer, and so then I kind of went crazy from there because coffee creamer kind of makes the whole thing just a wonderful experience. So my husband lovingly jokes that I kind of take my coffee creamer at a 1-to-1 ratio, which isn't quite true, but I feel like I'm getting there because I like it very light in color. So let me know how you guys like your coffee, but I definitely like a lot of coffee creamer in mine, and I like experimenting with all of the flavors. So if you are a coffee creamer lover, also let me know what flavor is your best. So, for this project, this is a wonderful project if you have leftover scrap pieces. So if you have little pieces laying around that are small in nature, be sure to collect all those for this project because we're only going to be using 2 small pieces, and we'll measure in a minute, but we're going to be using 2 small pieces, and you can use one if you like, but I'm going to do a double-sided mug. I really like it when I can obviously enjoy the design from my side while I am sipping my coffee, but I also like it when other people can enjoy it as well from the other side. So for this project, you are obviously going to need a coffee mug. This coffee mug is about 14 ounces, it says, and I'll try to link this down below. So far, I'm really liking it. There are 2 things that I get really picky about with coffee mugs, especially thermos coffee mugs. The first thing that I really like is that this is a pull top instead of a twist, because when they're a twist top, it's really hard for me to get the twist just right so that the little drinking spout lines up perfectly or to the front, I suppose. So I really like a push top because I can just line up where my drink spout should go, and I can just push it down. And this has a really, really firm little grip on it, so that's nice. The second thing I really like about a travel mug or, a thermos type mug is I like a clear top. And it's kind of a silly reason, but I like to be able to not only see my coffee, but I like to see how much coffee I have left. It's kind of something like I need to have closure with the last sip, but I hate when you have a mug that doesn't have a clear top and then all of a sudden you're on your last sip and you didn't realize it. So I like to be able to see, oh gosh, I only have like half my coffee left or just a little bit left. It's just a personal preference, but I love a clear top because not only is it pretty, but it also just gives me a little bit of coffee closure. So for this project, you're also going to need a scraping tool and a weeding tool and scissors. I'm going to be using the tulip color. I love this color. So it's going to look really, really pretty with this nice white. I think it's going to pop against it really nice. And then I'm going to be using the Cricut Joy transfer tape. So I'll also be using the Cricut Joy. You can use any cutting machine for this. So if you have a Maker or an Explorer 2 or any type of cutting machine, then feel free just to take all the tips and tricks and put this idea through your own cutting machine. So let's go ahead and just measure this real quick, and then we'll hop into Design Space. And let's see, from top to bottom, this is 3.5 inches roughly. So I think I want to keep my design at about 2 inches. So we'll do that. So sorry, I'll get that a little bit straighter for you guys. So 3.5 inches, and then 2 inches will be where I keep my design smaller than or right at. Okay, let's hop into Design Space really quick, and we will start designing this little look for this mug. I'm going to be doing a curvy text, so I'll show you how you can do that, and it's going to look really, really cute.
Okay, so here we are in Cricut Design Space, and what I'm going to do first is I am actually just going to make this out of the text feature. So I'm not going to do any images, but I will go ahead and click this little text box, and I'm going to add my 3 little words in separate boxes. So I'm actually going to use this font that I just downloaded from Font Bundles. It's called Hey Charlie. I really, really like this font. It's really neat. Okay, so the first one is going to say Faith. I'll just drag this up. And then the text, the second text is going to say Over. And you guys have probably seen this a lot lately. Fear. Okay, so let me make this a little bit bigger so we can really see how this is going to come together. So this obviously isn't an original like quote or anything like that. This is kind of all over the place, and I love it. I originally was going to put this on a shirt, and then when I found this cute mug, I thought this will be a fun little saying for a mug too. So I might still make a shirt out of this, but we'll see. So what I'm going to do first is the small one. I like to put them in separate boxes because I'm going to be doing 3 different things with each one. So it's just really easy to get everything how I want it when everything's separate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it, I'm going to drag it in, and I'm going to make this one smaller. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to click on the faith, and I am going to, let me actually move this a little bit over so that we can see the curve box. Sorry. I'm going to grab this top one, and then I'm going to click this curve box. And what you're going to do is you are going to take it to the left or right to curve it whichever way you want. So now since this is the top one, I'm going to curve it this way. And it's so neat. This is a really wonderful way to really take a design and just make it really pop, I think. It takes a design from really basic to really beautiful. Okay, so I think that looks really great, and we can always come back in and tweak it, so you can just kind of start and see where you want to go from there. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this fear word, and I'm going to do the opposite, and I'm going to curve it the other way. So they kind of go into each other. It actually looks really, really good to me. Okay, the only thing I might do is I might ungroup this really quick, and I might just pull this H in just a hair. Okay, and then I will go ahead and grab all of these and weld them back together, and then I think these look pretty good. Okay, so now I have my design exactly how I want it. So I am going to go ahead and select everything, and I am going to say, let me think this through. Sometimes I need to think this part through. Let me center it horizontally. Okay, that looks great. And let me distribute vertically. Perfect. Okay, so what it did was it made sure everything was centered this way and then this way. Okay, so now everything is perfect how we want it. For some reason, I still feel like this needs to move up a tad. Hold on, let me start that over. I do this to myself too, where I get everything technically aligned perfectly, and then my eye kind of thinks different. Okay, I just want to move it up just a hair. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I want it to cut exactly like this. So right now they are in 3 different layers. They're the faith layer, the fear layer, and the over layer. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and select everything and weld them together. That way they cut exactly like this, and I can place them on the mug in one piece. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to size this down to 2 inches. Let's do 1.9. So this ends up being almost a perfect square. 1.89 by 1.91. So that'll be perfect. Sometimes I do err on the side of a little smaller just to be safe. Okay, I'm going to make that just a tad smaller. Sorry. Okay, 1.801 by 1.82. Okay, so I always recommend going smaller than you think, just because it really can ruin a design if it's way too big. So yeah, smaller is better. So I think we're going to go right with that. I think that looks great. Now what we're going to do is we are going to duplicate it. Now this part is optional, because if you only want to do it on the front side of your mug, then that's fine, but I'm going to do it on both sides. So now we are going to go ahead and click the joy, and we can click make it. So we are going to be going without a mat, because while this is a little bit of a scrap material, it is big enough in nature to fit as it would a smart material without a mat. So we'll do that and click done. And then we will just I'm going to drag these over just a hair, just to give me a little bit of space in between, and this looks great. So again, without a mat, and we can click continue. Now it's just going to find our little joy via Bluetooth, and we can select our material. So we're just going to select Smart Vinyl Permanent for this project. I'm going to leave it on default pressure. It's going to be using the blade, and now we'll just load the material into the machine.
Okay guys, so I'm going to load my vinyl in, and I actually changed my mind. I'm going to do this nice kind of blue turquoise color. I think that this is going to really pop even more, so I'm going to go ahead and change my mind and do this instead. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to auto load it in. It's just going to pull it right in for us. It'll just pull it in and out real quick to make sure that it has enough material and that everything's aligned. And once it is, it'll allow you to press go, and then it will start to cut. Now while that cuts, what we'll do is we will take our rubbing alcohol and just rub some little rubbing alcohol over this just to clean the mug. Okay, so doing this just ensures that anything that was on the mug from either shipping and handling or from your own personal hands, like oils from your hands, it just ensures that all of that just gets off, and then what will happen is your vinyl will lay down a lot nicer once your mug is really, really clean. Okay. I really like this blue color. It came in a sampler pack. I can't remember which pack because I threw the box away, but it had like the mustard color and the tulip, that nice tulip pink color. But I think this is going to pop even more on the mug, so I'm glad I changed my mind at the last second. This is kind of what I was thinking in the first place, but I came down this morning to craft and I couldn't find it, and then miraculously I found it while filming today. Okay, so it's all done. So we'll just click unload on our computer and it looks awesome. So now what we'll do is we are just going to cut our scrap piece away, just like this. And there's a little bit on the side that we can even save as well. Side and top, really. So make sure you guys tell me, if you guys are coffee creamer lovers as well, what your favorite coffee creamer is. Mine right now is the Cinnabon one. I stumbled upon it by accident, or maybe my husband did by accident. I think it was my husband, and he brought it home. And he does not take creamer in his, so it's just kind of a fun thing for me, but that was so, so good. So it's become my favorite. I tried it about 6 months ago, and it's been my go-to ever since. So, okay, so now I'm just going to weed out my design. Okay, and being really, really careful not to pull up any letters or rip anything. So just go nice and slow. Little T's wanting to stay down. If you ever have a letter that's just wanting to stay, just use your weeding tool to kind of help keep it in place while you weed out your extras. Okay, so this color is really cool. You can already see what it's going to really look like because it's on this white mat, so you can already tell what the contrast is going to be. It's going to be really nice. Okay, so just bringing my little bye-bye bin. If you guys missed this tutorial on just my little scrap bin that I made, I'll link it right up here so you guys can see. It's really helpful to put my little pieces in there. So now I'm just going to go through and weed out the middle pieces of the letters. Okay, and just finishing up this last little one. So I'm just going to clean these up from my little finger here, and now we'll grab our transfer tape and get that laid over there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off my extra pieces on the side here, and then I will measure this together. So I love the grids on here because not only does it help me when I'm laying my design down to get it straight, but when I'm measuring my transfer tape, it really comes in handy. So I'll just get that little piece, and I think I can even cut a little piece off the top as well. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so now I'll just lay this down in one piece. So I'm just going to grab my little weeding tool again, and I'll just pull and pierce the corner before pulling. Sometimes that just helps. It's kind of like when you begin your weeding. It just helps pull that little piece up. There we go. Now I'm going to try to get my grids as straight as I can because then it will really help when doing my mug. Okay, so I'm just going to lay that right on there. Oops, I think I got a little bubble in there. Let me fix that. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to take my scraping tool and I'm just going to really scrape down and press really firmly as I pull over those letters. This is going to help the transfer tape and the vinyl meet together. That way we can just really easily pull up that vinyl from that carrier sheet or cutting that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to cut these apart. Okay, and I'm going to take the first one and leaving it upside down, I'm just going to start peeling off my carrier sheet. Just like that. Okay, so our design looks awesome. Okay, I'm going to set that to the side, and I'm going to do the exact same to this one. Okay, so now what I'll do is I will place a little wedge underneath my coffee mug here just to help, and then making sure first of all that my lid is all lined up, because you can kind of center your design based on your lid here. That can be a helpful thing too. And then what I'll do is I'll grab my little piece, and this is all dry from the rubbing alcohol, so it's all ready to go. And I am just going to, oops. Okay, once I have it where I'd like it, just going to lay it down. And then starting in the middle and working my way towards the sides there, just lay it down, and then I'll grab my little scraper tool and just really reinforce that idea of pressing it down onto the mug. Going over each letter. Looks really good. Okay, and then I'll grab a little corner here and pull away the transfer tape. And it looks amazing. Oh my gosh, it looks perfect, and it's centered and aligned both ways really, really nicely. Okay, so I'm just going to do the exact same to the back, and then I can use this pull lip, there's a little lip here, as a center point as well. Okay. I think this size was absolutely perfect because you don't want to have your lip obviously touching the vinyl, so that gives us plenty of space to sip from the top without touching the vinyl. Okay, that looks really good. All right, so the next reveal, and then it looks awesome. I really like that color with the white. I think that looks really, really nice. So now the hardest part, I'll share with you the hardest part. The hardest part of this whole project is that you need to set your mug aside and wait for about 2 days to let the vinyl really cure. So just go hide it from yourself, because it's going to be tempting, because it's so cute and gorgeous. It's going to be tempting to want to sip from it right away, but make sure you just set it aside, be patient, and let it really cure before you go to use it. And then once you do use it, hand wash it only, and then just don't allow it to sit in any body of water, because that can really disrupt the vinyl. So you just want to try to take care of your vinyl as much as you can. I have been doing mugs for months and months and months now, and they still look brand new. So, all right guys, if you enjoyed this tutorial, make sure you give it a thumbs up. I really enjoyed making this for you. And if you guys are brand new here, be sure you subscribe. I would love to have you. And make sure you guys leave me a comment on your coffee choices, especially if you guys are excited like I am to get back to drive-through coffee. I just love the socialness that comes with grabbing a coffee with friends. So what do you guys order when you guys go? So leave me a couple comments, tell me what you're up to, and make sure you're all subscribed, and I will see you guys all in the next video.